And now I think reflecting 4 years later, looking at, we're still in an emergency declaration as a city, and it's kind of not surprising that we're sitting out on Yakima Avenue with a stack of tents around the block, very similar to what it looked like in 2017 when we made the declaration, right? So I think it's frustrating. You can't put all that on the city. This is something across our region, across the country. Nearly every city is challenged with this same problem. Basically just not having a place for this subpopulation of visible homelessness to go.
So I was not homeless in 2017. And to be honest with you, I didn't realize the homeless problem was as large and widespread as it really was or is.
Certainly what we've experienced in the last year is the impacts of COVID-19 on our available shelter space. As we've discussed with Council, we have extremely restricted shelter space right now due to social distancing measures that have to be employed. The city is following the CDC's guidelines with regards to addressing encampments, which does encourage us to leave them in place to not have the further spread of the disease.
So one of the big issues with staying in the shelters is they have some really strict rules that have very little, leeway.
I kicked out for a candle in the dorm. I was using it as a light because at 10 o'clock they turn the lights off.
I'm homeless because they won't give me housing. I'm fully disabled. My RV was stolen. They're not doing anything about it. I've reported it.
And I don't get along with people, and I have anxiety.
There's definitely a group of people that will never be okay with going into housing. They're so against authority or just any sort of structure or limits on their freedoms or anything like that. They just simply ignore anything like that. The idea just kind of disgusts them.
I don't think it's unsolvable. I think what it requires is us to work together as a community. So here at 6th and Orchard, we had a church step up and allow us to use their property to establish this micro shelter site. I think it takes all kinds of approaches like that. The city's goal is to eliminate homelessness, and I think that's the goal of everyone in the community, whether they're an advocate, whether they're a regular community member.
So I'm very optimistic, but a lot of it just starts with I'm kind of through hearing the words and the mottos and the slogans. Let's just see some action.